It's just that if you're looking at the YouTube thing starting now, people will start to hear me talking and all that good stuff. I do have this muted though, so you shouldn't hear any echoing. That's sometimes a problem if you don't have it muted.
Okay.
But just waiting on that to start up because it's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Like looking at this, and I always feel like I shouldn't start talking until I see that on there. But then when I see the stream later, if I see it later, there's like that dead space where we're just kind of talking about other stuff, waiting on it to pop up. But it is up there now, so just gonna.
I see.
Just takes people a minute to get all the notifications and stuff out there, you know. Then they'll start trickling in and saying things and whatever. So normally, that's why like I'll start the stream, and then as people are just kind of talking about whatever, just so the notification starts getting out. Oh, and there we go. BX. What's going on, man? Welcome. So I'm sure he's going to have some things to say because he always has some
little
things.
Bully.
just a little bit. But it's welcome. That's why he's got that fancy little wrench next to his name. One of these days, me and BX and we're going to have us a tag team sneaker battle against some people.
That'll be good.
I don't know against who, but it'll be fun, Because I think between the two of us, we've got some pretty good stuff, very, very well rounded.
Yeah.
Because I'll fill in the blanks with the Adidas things and all that crap, you know what I'm saying? And then
one day I'll grow up to be like you guys. One day. You are a bully, BX.
I don't know who told him he's not, but they lied to him.
I know, he's in denial. It's okay though.
No, don't tell him it's okay, because then he's gonna keep doing it. It is not okay, BX. You need to get that under control. Over here being a bully and whatnot. That's not okay nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Supposed to leave that in the past. Homegrown Kicks, what's going on, man? Appreciate you stopping by as well. He was applauding me for my my thumbnail work earlier today.
Oh, really? Yeah. So what? I guess snapshot of a movie is that? Because I couldn't figure it out.
That was Black Snake Moan.
Real, and I think I've only seen that movie one time. That's the one with the girl chained to the radiator?
Yep, that's her.
Yeah.
That is her. Because I was thinking you know what, for the thumbnail, maybe because I was just gonna take a picture like some movies or whatever, just put some kind of like that, like a collage or whatever. But I was like, you know what? Let me bust out these Photoshop skills that I like to pretend I have. And so I was looking through my movies and I'm like, oh, it's Black Snake Moan. I think that one will work. Yeah. So then I looked up a picture, found an old picture of me, did a bit of Lightroom work to kind of adjust some colors, threw it all in there together, and there was that. So yeah.
That was pretty awesome though.
I do appreciate it. I certainly do. But so I guess we got some people in here. We can go ahead and get started. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself. Said that thumbnail had him crying.
Hey everyone, I'm Kim Strong. I'm just somebody that started, I guess, my sneaker journey in April, and I met a great group of people. Shoes Up is one of them. BX, Homegrown. I'm sure you guys know who I am. So movies are a little bit more of my wheelhouse as opposed to sneakers. So I decided to pester Shoes Up to see if we can start this live. So here we are.
Kim Movie Addict. I just saw that in your name. But yeah. So, and then of course you guys know me and all that. So yeah, the introduction, yes, it was not necessary, but you do it out of formality. And so like I said, usually when I do my little impromptu lives or whatever, I just like to sit back and see what people feel like talking about. sometimes it's shoes and, it's just kind of casual conversation. Other times we'll sit here and end up talking about like the best chicken restaurants in Louisiana for whatever reason.
Mhm.
So tonight we're on movies, which is a thing that pretty much anybody can jump in on because
Yes.
everybody has seen some, likes some, hates some, whatever the situation is. So that's what we're here for tonight. So I guess we'll start things off with start a question off to you, real simple one. So you say you're a movie person, obviously.
Yes.
So what got you into being a movie person? Like which ones was it that you saw and just kind of like really spoke to you?
So when I was
Sasha
little, my brother used to take, hey, Miss Sasha Lot. So when I was little, my brother used to take me to the movies all the time. The first movie I recall seeing in the theater is E.T.
Mhm.
And that movie traumatized me to no end. I haven't gone back. It is a good movie, but for me as a little one, it traumatized me.
Yeah,
Hey, Maya.
I have never seen that. Uh, it's I feel like I feel like I missed the window to where it would have made sense to see it. Did I miss
I
something?
feel like you have to go back and check off certain ones. A month ago, I went to, well, I didn't go to see anything, but I saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind because it's supposed to be this big Steven Spielberg movie, but I feel like that's one that I should have seen during that moment because when I watched it, it was like, I guess.
Yeah, that is one of the things that's kind of tough about watching an older movie that you've never seen. Because if you saw it back then, you still have certain feelings or whatever. But if
Right.
you see it now, and it's say, it'd be like if you saw Jurassic Park today for the first time, it wouldn't be the same as if you had seen it back in 93, 95, whatever. And
True.
you look at it and you're like, okay, this is kind of cool, I guess. But
I
back
think
then, it
it
was like,
holds up well, though. I think it kind of holds up well.
I mean, I'm just saying, like from a visual standpoint,
Right.
sometimes when you look at something like that, you're like, okay. I mean, it had a decent story to it. I'll give it that. Kind of like it made sense, and unless you're like a scientist and you can poke all the holes in it. But just hearing it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Find an insect. The insect had blood in it. Make dinosaurs. Okay, I guess I can see how that might work. But yeah, for me, like I Man, I don't even really know. Like I said before in one of the past videos, growing up I was living with my cousin while my mom like moved out here to get everything ready, right? So for that first like year or something, that for that year, I was out there and we watched a lot of Witches, which is a Halloween movie, a lot of that Care Bears movie with the raccoon in it, and there was something else. The some space. Oh yeah, the Rainbow Bride. I think that was the one that you said you did not like.
Wait, Rainbow Bright had a movie?
I'm pretty sure it was Rainbow Bright because she was riding around on a space horse, and it was like evil or something, or maybe there was an evil space horse in the movie. I just remember this black horse that was bad. Jeezy, what's going on, man?
I don't remember that.
What? I'm gonna have to look up a picture or something. Find
Yes,
that real
I don't
quick.
remember that. So as far as movies, I wasn't really into. I don't remember Rainbow Bright. I don't remember any Care Bear movie. Kid movies, I was into The Labyrinth, as you can see. Um,
There it
I was
is.
into The Dark Crystal, Secret of Nim,
Oh yeah, I was actually going to talk about that movie. I'll come back to that in a minute. Wait. Okay, got it. Let me go ahead.
and on the more adult side of things, I love The Goonies, even though it was catered to kids. The Goonies, Ghostbusters.
See that's from the movie.
Wait.
I don't know.
No. Put me down for a no on that one.
Yeah. Yeah,
I did watch the Rainbow Bright cartoon though.
I don't remember anything. All I remember is that black horse, and I think he was evil.
Is that a horse though? It doesn't. I see the saddle.
Yeah, it's got to be a horse. I mean, because
his neck is bent down. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on. Now that we've solved the mystery of the black horse. What were you saying though?
No, just going over like childhood movies. I see Homegrown mentioned the Dark Crystal series. Yes, I really enjoyed that. I didn't have, I guess I had a negative outlook. Like, I don't think that they could do it properly, but it was really good. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. The first book that I read when I was younger that I remember was The Secret of Nim. And so later when I found out they had a movie, well, I saw the movie in like, I don't know, second grade, first grade. It was older when I saw it. It wasn't like brand new. We just had it at school and I watched it and I was like, okay, that's cool. It's like the book. I don't remember anything about it, but then I watched it over the earlier part of this year. There's some stuff going on in that movie.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff going on in it.
Yeah, it's like little baby mouse is dying from pneumonia, and all the mean rats are like trying to not help her at first, and then they had like that owl in there. I'm like, man, this is not quite a children's movie.
No, but most 80s movies weren't really, their rating system was kind of different back in the day.
I mean, yeah, like, well, the 80s in general was different.
Yes, so because when you look back on The Labyrinth, okay, you got this older man going after this teenage girl. When you really break it down, kidnapping a baby, and then you have all these creatures just everywhere.
Yeah, like in the bog of eternal stench.
Yes.
Yeah, and the whole thing, because again, I watched that one earlier this year too, and I hadn't seen it in a long, long time. There's a solid possibility I hadn't seen it since I was in the single digit ages.
Really?
But I watched it and I was like, this is freaking strange. Like,
very strange movie.
I mean, there are certain parts that are cool. Hey, why so? What's going on, man? There are certain parts that are cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, you watch it for that, like the scene with all the stairs and they're walking around and he's like got that little crystal ball and he's doing that whole thing. But overall, the movie was interesting. Let's see.
And it's funny because The Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal were the worst of the Jim Henson movies. So they didn't really care for that when they opened up.
Yeah, I heard that. Well, I mean, I didn't hear that like until way later, but when you grow up not really knowing anything else, right? Like, you just think that, hey, this is a popular movie, like we have it, maybe other people have it, I don't know. But then I get older and it's like people that were into the movie, I mean, I could probably count on one hand how many people were into it. And a lot of those people are just into David Bowie, so they just kind of know it for that. It's not a lot of people that are just like, oh yeah, I like The Labyrinth with Hoggle and whatever. So yeah. The Wise Soul says that he knows we're about to admit that Boomerang is a top 5 movie of all time. Your thoughts on that?
It's a good movie. It's not in my top 5 per se. Probably top 5 Eddie Murphy movie.
Let's see. I don't know what I'd say are my top 5, but I will say, and I pulled them aside just for this, my top 2, in no particular order, would be Goodwill Hunting and The Devil's Rejects. Both very different, but
very different.
Very different. Like, I mean, this one is just kind of like it's. I just think it's a pretty well done movie. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the Rob Zombie environment goes, or whatever you want to call it. Kind of weird. And Diamond Dallas Page is in it, so they get pluses for that. And this one is, I mean, I can't relate to it on a 100% from start to finish, but there are a lot of things about it that I'm like, man, like I can totally get behind this guy right now. You know?
I don't think I've ever sat and watched the entirety of Goodwill Hunting.
Oh, well then, if that's this live is over. So No.
Homegrown, and Rick Wiz, I love The Never Ending Story. That was another one that I was able to see in the theaters.
What up, Optimistic? So he's saying Boomerang is definitely a good movie.
Yes, it is.
Put Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Okay. Yeah, I have not seen that. For the Never Ending Story. Wait. Yeah, I have not seen The Never Ending Story. For a second, I was about to say I had the game, but that was the Page Master. So
I've never seen the Page Master. That's what Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. The only Macaulay Culkin movie I have seen, or movies I have seen, would be The Good Son and My Girl.
You haven't Home Alone?
Oh yeah, he was in those, wasn't he? Yeah. Okay.
I was about to get off this alive.
I've got nothing against Home Alone, but for whatever reason, like a lot of people always bring it up, like, oh man, Home Alone is such a good movie. It must just not have clicked for me because I just don't ever think about it outside of times like this when somebody says it.
I think about it during Christmas time. For me, it was Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci was everything to me. So,
see, Rick he knows what's going on here.
I don't know. I think I've seen The Devil's Rejects once, but it was just so left to me. Like all of Rob Zombie movies are just a lot to absorb. And the only one that I could sit through is Halloween. I thought that was a really good remake.
That was his Halloween was the first Halloween I had ever seen until the 2018 release. Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to be saying a lot of what's throughout this.
No, it's like, because here's the thing, right? Like, I don't really watch a lot of scary movies.
Okay.
So,
okay.
And when I look at, and I guess that's not necessarily like a scary movie, but I don't know what you want to classify it as, but it's not in the genre that I generally would watch. You know what I'm saying? Which is weird.
Devil's Reject had a lot of murder in it.
But that wasn't like scary. That was just people killing people. So,
that's what Halloween is.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's kind of like, to me, I had classified it as just like a scary movie or something because I hadn't seen it. And I was like, well, I don't really watch those, so I'm not going to bother with it. But looking at, I remember more about the 2018 Halloween movie. And that was more like, it wasn't scary. It was just kind of like there's some suspense, a little bit of like a thriller, I guess you could say. And some murdering too. Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's kind of where certain other movies are that I do watch, you know? Man, The Mannequin, like that movie, I remember watching both of those because I'm pretty sure there were two. I remember watching both of those a fair amount.
I love The Burbs. I watch that almost every year, at least once.
Man,
that's one of my favorite Tom Hanks movies.
That sounds super familiar. I mean, I definitely know the name.
Rick, one of my favorite Christmas movies, other than A Christmas Story, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
See, like those are movies that I wanted to watch, but just given that when I was growing up and just like what we had was not a lot. So there were some movies I missed out on because of that reason, I'd be like, oh, let's rent this. And I'm like, no, we're getting the Great White Hype. I'm like, oh, all right.
I've never seen that. I've never seen the Great White Hype.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's a Samuel L. Jackson movie, but
was that him? I thought it was.
I think so. Wasn't he the one who had the turban on?
I thought it was like one of the Wayans dudes or something. Yeah, it was okay. Sam Jackson was in it too.
Oh,
I
okay.
just remember. I guess Damon Wayans. He's listed as one of the people in it. I just remember him more, I guess. But I haven't seen that movie in like I don't know how long ago was this? 96. So
Really?
probably since 96. Should be a good 24 years ago. Jesus.
I love Splash too.
Hold on a second. One
Splash
thing I
is a
was
good
gonna
Tom
say was
Hanks movie. I'm
the
sorry?
the Burbs cover kind of reminds me of the Young Einstein movie. But BX had a question. The bully had a question. Who are each of you guys' favorite actors, male and female? I'll let you go first on that one.
No, you go first. I'm gonna have to think on that.
Okay. Let's see. Favorite actor. Man, who do I like? Because I'm trying to think like who do I see in movies, and I think, oh yeah, this is gonna be good. I looking at what I own, Jason Statham might be an answer to that potentially.
Really?
Because like I have a lot of movies with him in them, like Crank and Snatch and Expendables. Do I have the Transporter? I might. I don't know. But I do have a lot of his movies. And as far as women go, shoot, man, that's a super tough one. Because I'm trying to think of what women I can even name as far as actors go. Felicia Rashad?
What?
I have no idea. I have no idea who my favorite woman actor would be.
Okay. For me, it would be Denzel and Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
I think. Halle Berry. I'm trying to think of my movies. And I have a lot of Halle Berry movies.
Let's see, Halle Berry. I remember her from from X-Men and Swordfish. She was also Catwoman, right?
Yes. She was in Monster Ball. She was in Queen.
Let's see. Homegrown brought up Gremlins. That was a good one.
I like Gremlins.
I remember
Gremlins gave me nightmares.
I've seen 2 a lot of times, and 2 is awesome. I think I've only seen 1 like once or twice though, because I don't remember a lot about it.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about Angela Bassett. I do love her.
Let's see. Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, all-time favorites for Optimistic. Yeah, because Eddie Murphy was in some movies that like I haven't seen him in a lot of movies, but the few that I had seen him in, I really liked. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And Martin Lawrence, let's see, he was in what, Blue Chips and Big Mama's House, and I feel like there's something else.
Life, Norbit.
Life. That's
Vampires in Brooklyn. Beverly Hills Cop.
I might have to put I might put Pootie Tang pretty high up there on my favorite movies. I mean,
Harlem Nights. That's right, Harlem Nights.
Yeah, that was a good one with Red Fox.
All the Nutty Professors.
So, to answer the question of what genres of movies do I like, so I'm a big comedy guy because I like stuff where I don't have to really like pay attention or think too much. I want to just take the movie for what it is without having to get like crazy deep into it and fall into some like convoluted plot twists and whatnot. So those are high up there. But at the same time, every so often a movie like The Prestige will like jump out and I'm like, man, that's really good. What's that?
I said that was good.
Yeah, because that and I don't remember a lot about The Illusionist, but I remember seeing them both around the same time. But I think
Mm-hmm.
Prestige was the better one, personally. And I do like I said, I like a lot of animated movies too. You know what I'm saying? That just kind of catches my attention as well. Because I don't know, I used to watch a lot of cartoons when I was younger, and kind of still do. But past that, I think those are comedies is like my go-to. You know, whether it's like a full-on comedy, like Step Brothers or something, or if it's one of those like weird comedies like Napoleon Dynamite or Train Spotting.
I love Napoleon.
Yeah. What about you though?
Sci-fi, action, comedy, horror. Those are probably my top.
What was okay? Man, what was that movie with what was that movie with Andre? It was a basketball movie. Was it Semi-Pro? Was he in that? Kind of liked that movie.
Semi-Pro with who? Andre 3000?
Yeah.
I believe so. Vampire in Brooklyn is not in my top 5.
Let's see. Oh, Cool Runnings. Yeah, that was a good one. See, in 540.
I forgot about Coming to America. How could I forget about Coming to America?
See, I was about to say that same thing. I have no idea.
So apparently Coming to America 2, Amazon purchased that movie, and we should be getting that movie on Prime next year, I believe. Which is really sad for me because I bought my Coming to America blazers ready to wear my McDowell's t-shirt and those sneakers when the movie released in theaters.
And yeah, that's the thing. Because like with a movie like that, right? It's been in the making. Well, I won't say in the making, but people have been wanting that to happen for a long time. And when rumors started that it might, and then when there was confirmation that it would, then they had shoe releases and stuff, and probably other things going on too. A lot of people were looking forward to that, and I mean they're still looking forward to it, but like you just don't get the same experience when you can't see it in a theater. Because don't get me wrong, like I'm cool with waiting for stuff to come on like home video, but there are certain things that you want to go to the theater for.
Yes.
Because especially if you happen to live near like a nice theater. The last movie I saw was The Invisible Man, and it was in one of those ones that had like a nice little recliner, and I saw, I think, Civil War in one of those movie theaters where like the seats move and they have like the speakers and the rumbling.
Really? How was that?
It was crazy.
That was amazing.
Because like at first, like there's a scene early on in the movie where you're kind of like coming in over like some snow or something, and the seat's kind of like moving a little bit, and it's like tilting down and angling. I'm like, well, this is different. Wow. So I'm all for that. I'm not a huge 3D guy. I don't like wearing the glasses, but that I was all for.
I just thought about it looking at your T-shirt. How can we forget the Princess Bride?
Yes, because that was the thing. I mean, it's Throwback Thursday, so I like to wear something that's a reference to older things. And this, between the movie thing and just him being Andre from many moons ago, two birds stoned at once. There was a question where BX had asked about like movies about people. I don't know where it went, but do you have your favorite, like an autobiography type? Or
it says, how do each of you feel about movies based on someone?
Yeah.
Ray Marshall. I like them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was the last one that I saw? Because I mean, I know I watch more documentaries of that style, like the Ronnie Coleman thing on Netflix. I watch more of those types of things than actual movies about people. But
same here, but Jamie Foxx will bring me to watch movies about people.
Because I'm trying to think what was the last one that I watched. Because there have been times where I've watched things that I didn't realize were true stories. I will say given the limited things I can think of and how much I like this movie, my favorite movie about someone's life is probably Blow with Johnny Depp.
That was good.
That movie was really good. It's crazy. It's like I remember feeling so sad for him at the end. And let's see.
Yes.
Do the Right Thing. I was just talking about Weekend at Bernie's because Cove Master, he posted a photo and he had like the dark glasses and he looked like he was just like propped up against the wall with his hand on his phone. I was like, what is this, Weekend at Bernie's?
I remember, so the funny thing about Do the Right Thing, I remember going to the theater. It was myself, my brother, and my mother. So my brother took us to the theater, and by the time they got to the ice scene, my mom said, "Get up, we're leaving. What do you have us in here watching?" And we had to leave the theater because she was just too through with the situation. And that's after all the cussing.
Yeah, see, like I said before, like it might have been the first movie I saw in theaters was I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. And that was like looking back at it, it seems like such a weird choice to like take your child to, you know?
Yes.
But again, it was a different time. And 540 saying great movies coming out, gotta go, you know, forget all the COVID.
Yeah, the theaters here are open in Virginia. Maryland is still closed. See, the nearest theater is about 15 minutes. I think I'm going to go tomorrow. I still need to see Tenet, so I may sneak in the theater and go see that.
See. I'm trying to think. I haven't driven past the movie theater, the one closest to me, in a minute, because it's like you drive, but it's like you got to get off the interstate to like really get over there. So I don't know if it's open or not. But I will say my must-haves for when I go, and it's always been like this for me: peanut M&Ms and one of those like whatever, like red Slurpee style drinks.
Really, you're an icy guy.
Yeah. So that is my thing. Sometimes they don't have the peanut M&Ms, and I'll get the red vines or the Twizzlers depending on the movie theater and what's available.
All I need is a tub of popcorn and some soda. I'm good to go.
Oh yeah. See, I don't know why. Like, I like popcorn. Don't get me wrong. It's just like when I look at those tubs of them, it's like, man, that's a lot. Like I'm not gonna eat all this, but I know I'm gonna finish this bag of M&Ms.
I won't eat all of it, but I subscribe to the AMC club member where you get 3 movies a week, up to 12 movies a month for $20. And for me, that's just an awesome deal.
Wait, a steak and Twizzlers? You know, like, so unrelated, kind of mostly, but like when I was younger, I think I told this story. I feel like I told this story before. Like, one of my favorite things was to bite the tips off of Twizzlers and like use it as a straw to drink milk. I don't know why. I thought that was like the best combination in the world. It's like, yeah, sit there, drink my milk with this here Twizzler straw, and then eat the Twizzlers, and it has like a milky taste to it. It sounds disgusting in my head, right? But at the time, that was like the best thing in the world for me.
Yeah. I'm sure that's why they made those Twizzler straws, because so many kids were doing that. I'm not a Twizzler girl. And
you're missing out.
The last time I spoke out about the candy that I choose to eat at a movie theater, I was teased so bad in one of these lives. They were calling me an old lady.
Well, you had some Werthers or something?
Raisinets.
Oh. Ew. Like, oh, man.
I love Raisinets.
I didn't know
healthy and bad for you all at the same time.
Who's eating Raisinets? Like, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody like actually with those.
Don't do that. Don't judge me.
I mean, I'm not like I'm just saying like that's a new one.
Yes. Or I go to the dollar store and fill up on some candy and put it in my purse, and then whatever happens, happens at the theater.
And that's the thing, like BX just said, like you can sneak in your
Thank
own.
you, homegrown kicks. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's cool. Homegrown's just wrong. But like I never even I know you can take your own stuff in there, but for whatever reason, I never even considered it, you know? Because like there was a time when I had like one of those movie pass things, you know, for like the local theaters, and you got a percentage off of your food purchases, right? It was like 20% or something, which can go in a way, it goes a long way, but really just brings it down to like normal price pretty much.
Yes.
So
Prior to me becoming a member to AMC,
Jonathan,
yeah, I would do the dollar store thing. But now that I'm part of the AMC members, I don't do that because you get $5 back. You get right now in my pot, I have $25 in rewards just sitting along with a large popcorn and a large soda. So I have to use it before it expires.
that's how I feel sometimes. Make these trips to whatever stores telling me I need to go there. I had to take a second to look up goobers because what was I thinking of?
I don't know what goober. I think that's chocolate covered peanuts.
I think I was thinking Milk Duds, which I don't even know if that's still around or not.
Milk Duds. Yes, they are.
Oh, but yeah, I haven't. I don't know. I'm kind of curious now, like what the movie theater situation is, but at the same time, like I don't watch a lot of TV, so I don't know what movies are even new. You know what I mean? Because I know that like Mulan just came out not that long ago, and that was a big deal, and everybody was talking about that. But I assume other movies have come out this year.
Not really. I mean, there are, but in my opinion, they're the B-rated type movies, and they pushed all the good movies to 2021.
Oh, okay.
So,
because that was the thing I was wondering about. Because I don't really get on Amazon's movie section, or I mean, I have Disney Plus, you know, but I don't really look on there to see what's new. I just see movies from a while ago that are finally being added, you know. But again, like you were saying, I had heard that Wonder Woman was supposed to be releasing on one of those streaming services, but did that get pushed back too? Do you know?
Yes.
Oh.
All those big movies that cost hundreds of millions of dollars has been pushed back.
I get it, you know, but I just don't like it. Cause like,
so since you like comedy, what is some of your favorite comedic movies?
Oh man. Okay, so I mean, I already said Napoleon Dynamite. That's up there, and I also referenced Dodgeball a little while ago. Let's see, Train Spotting. It's kind of a comedy. I do really like that one. So it's not quite a comedy, but it has funny moments. What's it?
I don't think I've seen Train Spotting.
I'm trying to think of the name. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and The Brothers Bloom. I like both of those pretty good. Sherlock Holmes. That's pretty all right.
Is that a comedy?
I remember some parts in there being funny, but it's not really a comedy. Let's see. Black Dynamite isn't like a straight up comedy.
That was such a good movie.
Snatch isn't. See, there's some that are kind of on the edge there, but then you have something like Step Brothers is a straight up comedy, and that one I do like a fair amount. So
one of my favorites that I thought was such a good blend of action and comedy was Tropic Thunder.
Yes,
loved Tropic Thunder.
Hey, Vlad, what's going on, man? But yes, Tropic Thunder. That one was good too. I was just thinking about that movie the other day. It was like Booty Sweat or something.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Brother,
Um,
Where Art Thou? Yes, that one.
that was a good movie.
That was I forget about that movie.
That
I
was a
haven't
good
seen
movie.
that one in years. I'd have to dig out the DVDs to find that one because, after a certain point, I stopped buying those, started getting Blu-rays. So
Talladega Nights was good.
that one, at first, I was like, this movie is trash. But like later on, like, I don't know if it was just like the scenes replaying in my head enough or me seeing it or whatever every so often, like little clips on TV. But it
Hmm.
became, I was like, you know what? This Talladega Nights movie is not the abomination I once thought it was. So
No.
I will say that's a time when I was wrong about a movie at first. What about you? You got anything out there that like you didn't like at first or you didn't think you'd like, but then came around to later?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Fair enough. I can.
Because from the commercial, I looked at it, I was like, what in the world is this? It's like, oh, I'm not watching this. But I love the movie so much.
Yeah. What's another one? I didn't have anything against it, but going into the movie Fracture, I was like, this doesn't seem like anything great, but I watched it and sure enough, it ended up being pretty good. I think
I
that
don't
was
think
like,
I've seen that.
that was, when was that? Like, let's see, I was living in Georgia. So 2008? No, 2007 or 2006.
Okay.
I'm trying to think who was in it, but I have no idea, so I have to look it up. It was, man, where are the names on here? Anthony Hopkins and Ryan Gosling.
Put me down for a no on that one. No, I haven't
Yeah,
seen that.
let me hit the screen share thing and find that tab real quick.
Soggy Bottom Boys.
So, I mean, I know that's not necessarily going to help you, but that's what it looks like.
Yes, I remember the picture, but I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good one though. I would say it's worth checking out. Let's see. What is one movie quote you find yourself repeating a lot? Mine is "You're killing me, Smalls" from The Sandlot. Uh man, somebody just asked me for a movie quote today, and I couldn't do it. I completely drew a blank. Um, I don't know that I have one. Hey, McFly, what's going on, man?
There's so many. I need a T-shirt. That T-shirt that says "Speak in frequent movie quotes." Um, I quote The Color Purple all the time. Um, and I have a friend. His nickname is Nino Brown, and I always quote, "I've seen you kill too many people, Nino."
Man,
um,
I
there's so many though. I quote a lot of Kevin Hart stand-up also.
because like I remember I wouldn't say I quoted a lot, but the part from Harlem Nights where the lady she gets shot in her pinky toe, like
Yes,
that comes to mind a lot.
yes.
Or the part about where a dude overdosed on gold and I'm gonna get you sucker, that one too.
My
But
friends, we quoted a lot of Friday.
oh yeah, I think that's
Friday
definitely
is a big one.
that's a very quotable movie.
Yes.
That's one of those movies that like again, I didn't have anything against it, but when someone was like, "Hey, you want to go see Friday?" I was like, "What's it about?" Like, I don't know. It's like, how much is it? It's like, oh, it's at the like $2, $5 theater, whatever the cost was. Like, oh, well, sure. And it was instantly one of my favorite movies. Let's see.
Oh, the worst.
You put quite a lot of Chris Farley. I don't even know that I could name a Chris Farley movie. Sandlot, We All We Got,
Homegrown ass, what's the
I'd
worst
Happy.
movie you have ever
Now
seen?
that chocolatey baby.
I don't know where that's off of. Boy, I'm a Heisen.
Or whatever that Mariah Carey. What movie was Mariah Carey in?
Glitter. Homegrown ass. What? Yeah.
Oh, the worst movie I've ever seen. Oh man, definitely like we talked the other day about Eon Flux. That was a very bad movie. I'm going to stand by that.
I've never seen it.
I do not like Jim Carrey, so the one
What?
time I had to sit through Me, Myself, and Irene, that is definitely up there. What else? What else was bad? I feel like wasn't there something I saw recently? Insidious. I saw one of those one year. If Derek Armstrong was here, he'd totally back me up because he was there for that, and it was sad times. What else? What else?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. One of the movies I was like, I just wasted 2 hours of my life for no reason.
Oh wait, what was that movie with the guy that played Wolverine? The Prisoners? He was trying to figure out
Jackman?
who, like,
That was a good movie.
I
You
didn't
didn't
like
like
it.
that?
I didn't like it, not one bit. Just to be completely honest with you. Yeah. Man, what else was there? What else?
What's the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal everybody loved that he was seeing a rabbit?
What?
There's a movie, I believe it's Jake Gyllenhaal. It came out a while ago, and he was seeing this. He was hallucinating and seeing a pink bunny rabbit. And people love that movie, and I said I will never get that time back.
I have no idea what that is.
I'm gonna have to Google it.
Man, was he the Jake Gyllenhaal? Was he the guy in was it Premium Rush? The movie where like the biking? You ever seen that? I think it was Premium Rush. That movie was pretty good, but sometimes I mean it's kind of stupid. You know what I'm saying? What was that 2012? It was a kind of a silly movie, but I like it. You know, sometimes, you know, we all have those movies where like you can understand why a lot of people probably don't like it, but you like it, and that's all that matters. You know, that whole thing. So that, I mean,
Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko.
People love that movie, and I didn't get it.
Wait.
I agree, 540. I can't get into Monty Python, and I love British comedy, but for whatever reason, that goes way over my head.
You know what I can't get into? Well, no, I'm not going to bring that up right now. So first off, because I want to respond to Vlad, who I thought was my friend. No, I'm kidding. But he said he didn't like Venom. And that, like, to me, part of me can get behind that and part of me can't, because it's like, if you're looking at it from like a comic book standpoint or whatever, and you want like that authentic style story, you're not going to get it. But that's how a lot of comic book movies are. But for what it was, I was entertained, though.
Yes.
I will say also, had a slight bias because I had seen the whole panel at Comic-Con and seen them talk about the movie. Sometimes that kind of gets you hyped up on something. But yeah, about that whole Monty Python thing and all that, yeah, that's not for me. I'm not really. I'm not gonna say it's because it's like the British comedy, because I was a big Mr. Bean guy when I was younger.
I love Mr. Bean.
Yeah, see, but something about that was just not for me. And I think there's some other British things that I probably liked as well. I never saw the
Benny Hill.
Huh?
Benny Hill.
Oh, okay. I don't know how much of that I've seen, and I never saw like the British Office or anything, but I know that there have been some other British things that have been fine. So we'll say that. So Tom, you like Tom Hardy, but the acting was terrible. I'm curious how the next Venom is going to be, because they're supposed to have more symbiotes in it, I think. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. You said Rat Race was good. What'd you think about The Rock? The movie The Rock with Nicolas Cage and was it Nicolas Cage?
Sean Connery.
Yeah.
For that time, I was addicted to The Rock. Like those type of movies are my type of movies. As far as action.
I remember somebody like where I worked before or whatever, they were like, yeah, I've never seen that movie. I feel like I went home to get that movie and was like, here, like just give it back to me when, after you watched it. And he watched it, like, man, okay, that was actually pretty good. Because it's
Mhm.
not something that a lot of people would ever really look up. If you missed it, how would you know? But also on the subject of Nicolas Cage, I did like Con Air as well. Thought that was
Yes,
good. Dave
I
Chappelle
agree.
was in that, from what I recall.
Yes. Face Off. Did you like Face Off?
I never saw it. I yeah, I never saw it. So
Clearly, I just stay in my bubble, and in my bubble, there's a huge TV, and I just binge watch.
no, because like that's the thing. Like I've seen a good number of movies. Like I own a bunch because like I keep looking over there just to see like what comes to mind or whatever, and I'll see something and it's like something to like trigger in my head. Oh yeah, that like that's when I was talking about like Premium Rush or whatever, or like Hot Rod, where it's like it's a comedy, but I wouldn't suggest it to anybody because it's a weird funny. Like the Fistfoot Way. I thought that was going to be a really good movie because I like the Eastbound and Down guy, but then I watched it and the movie was
Yeah,
bad. But then I watched Pineapple Express and it's really good. So
I
it's
really enjoyed Pineapple Express.
right, yeah. See,
Mhm.
wow, he said, "Boo this man." This
I tried to get him to do some homework, McFly,
I
but
you weren't specific, so
did you
I
see
didn't
Purple
do
Rain?
it.
Did you watch Purple Rain?
Oh, I totally forgot we even had that conversation.
Oh my goodness.
But you know what? I'm going to do my best. I'm going to take that back already. I am going to make an effort to watch Purple Rain soon. What was that movie? Was it Raising Arizona? Is that what you're talking about?
That was a good movie.
Because Vlad's saying Arizona was good. I wonder if that's what he's talking about. But yeah, because I know Nicolas Cage is. I mean, he's had some movies like Next where it's not really good, but then there are the
Yeah.
other ones.
Yes.
Oh
Look, you see
wow,
what
McFly is
540 says, right?
where. Oh, he says he works with about working with a guy who hasn't seen
No, you
Princess.
say you haven't seen Purple Rain?
Oh, yeah. Like I I don't even know how I haven't seen it, honestly, because it seems like something that I would have seen at least a couple times, especially like just growing up. Like I would have seen it a few times,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. And what's that? So okay,
So were you into the Transformers?
like as a child,
The
like
movie.
cartoon
The
or what?
movie.
Like
The
the
movie.
within like the last 15 years movies.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be, but they just weren't really good. So
But you were into the cartoon?
I liked the cartoon. I still buy some of the figures and stuff.
Oh,
But
okay.
something about the movies though, it just wasn't right. It was I mean, for one, they were super long, and I'm not a huge fan of long movies. If it's going to be
Right.
a long movie, and if it's something like Inception, or like what's that movie, The Reverend, where it's long but it moves at the right pace, that's fine. The Transformers, it's like, dude, get to the dinosaurs. Like, what are you doing? And 3 hours later, it's like, you have to go here. It's like, unless here is the land of the dinosaurs, I'm about done with this movie. But eventually it's over, and I do want to watch like the fourth one just so I can complete the series. But at the same time, I value my time, and I don't want to watch it for that reason. It's kind of weird. And but at the same time, like it, I might be more inclined to watch it if people were at least saying like, it was pretty good, even though this, like, no, nobody's
Right.
saying that. So I'm just like, all right. Have you seen Fight Club? What'd you think about that one?
It was okay. It took me about 8 years after the movie released for me to watch.
Okay.
The premise didn't do anything for me. So, which doesn't make sense because I like Snatch. So, but I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like.
I haven't revisited it, but I thought it was a good movie.
Let's see. I'm trying to think, when did I see that? It was, because it was a while ago. It was, let's see. So I bought it in 2009. So that's when I first saw it. And because everybody's been hyping it up, and I watched it and I was like, okay, it's not bad, but it's like, it just didn't. I think everybody just hyped it up too much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know how like you see something and like everybody's like, oh man, it's gonna be the best thing ever. You got to see it. You got to see it. And then you see it and you're like, had you guys?
This is it?
Yeah, like had people just said like, yeah, it's a pretty good movie. You should check it out if you get some time. And like left the bar kind of like in the middle area. I'd be like, okay. And then I'd watch it like, wow, this was pretty good. Yes, Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. I have both.
Two great movies. You know what movie did that to me?
What's that?
And I know the comments are going to kill me. Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
I fell asleep a couple of times. I missed bits and pieces. I don't think I've still seen the whole movie in its entirety. But everybody loves that movie.
I also like Pulp Fiction, but I do not sing its praises.
Okay.
It's good, yes. One old movie that I will suggest, though, possibly from around that era, is Falling Down. I can't remember who was in it.
Michael Douglas.
But that was a good movie.
I didn't care for it. You know what movie that I really, really enjoyed?
I don't like
The Usual Suspects.
Oh, man. Have I seen? Sometimes
that was a really good movie.
I'm trying to think like if I've seen that.
It has Kevin Spacey. He played this character called Kaiser Soze.
See, because like that sounds super familiar, but like when I'm trying to picture the movie, but I feel like I'm picturing Seven.
I can see how you do that.
So it's like
it had Gabriel Byrne. It had one of the brothers in it. Alec Baldwin brothers. Stephen Baldwin. It was a really good movie, though.
Oh yeah, I'm not very familiar with either of them except for I guess Alec Baldwin because he has a podcast and he was on 30 Rock. Superman was the worst long comic book movie ever.
Wait, he's got to be talking about the ones that recently came out. He can't be talking about Christopher Reeves.
Which year Homegrown kicks?
Yes, please clarify.
Yeah. I will say that I watched a Superman movie in like the 2006, 2007 timeframe, whatever that one was, and I didn't like it. But now, to be fair, I don't like Superman, period. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
Because he sucks. It's not my fault. Tell him to be better. So I don't like him. And so when I see him in movies, it makes me not want to watch them. So like that, what was that Justice League movie? Still haven't seen that. I hear that if you watch the right version, it's pretty good.
I fell asleep a couple of times on Justice League.
Okay, he's saying the newer one. Hey, Robert Valentine, what's going on, guy? Oh, Black Adam. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. What did you guys think of Shazam?
I thought that was a really good movie.
I was not a fan. I thought it was well done, kind of, but like I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that. I was excited that DC finally came out with a good movie.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? DC, in my opinion, and Homegrown Kicks, you might be able to weigh in on this one way or the other, but their animated movies, when it comes to like DC, those are solid, right? Like
I heard that.
The Flashpoint movies, like the Batman ones, like, I haven't seen the Hush one yet, but all of those other ones, even some of the ones that you might not expect to be like, because Batman Red Hood was really good. There was something else. I can't think of all of them, but like they have a whole bunch of them, and they've all been pretty solid, But when they put like these live action films together in like actual theaters, they tend to fall a little short. I can't think of the last DC character I saw that like really had me like, wow, this is great. Like I did want to see Aquaman, but only because I'm one of the few Aquaman fans out there in the world.
So people were raving, at least the ones that I was hearing from was raving about Aquaman. And for me, Aquaman was unoriginal. And it was a long movie. And I just didn't understand certain aspects. It had aspects of Tron in the movie. It had aspects of, at the end, they had a kaiju. And I said, are we in Pacific Rim now? They had a kaiju that Aquaman was riding on. It just seemed like they took snippets of movies and said, hey, we're going to put it into Aquaman.
See, that
yes, Jason made the movie.
Not okay with it, but I said that kind of makes me not okay with like seeing it or whatever.
Just take it off your list. Just watch it.
Yeah. Oh, that thing. Like I've had plenty of opportunities. It's on either HBO Max or Disney Plus. One of those.
It's on Max.
I'm like 2 clicks away from watching it, but it's just like,
watch it. Jason Momoa. He makes the movie. He really does. It was just. I felt like they were just doing too much.
And for me, like the way you describe that movie, I feel like watching it, I feel like maybe like Thor 1, right? Because the thing for me is like, I don't like movies that take place in like these space fantasy worlds and things like that.
Really?
So if Thor was not a Marvel dude, everything about that movie would have been a complete like don't waste your time.
Really?
But yeah. So like, but he's Thor, and I'm into the comics, always have been. So he got a pass for that. But yeah.
So you didn't like Ragnarok?
That one was fine because that one was like it wasn't so like weird to me. It was a little more comedy based, a little more, hey, let's go hang out over here and just do this. All this. And even if you watch like earlier Thor, just like the whole vibe to him as an individual, whether he's in his own movie or in other people's movies, I was just like, man, I'm gonna let this pass because it is what it is. But reasons like that is why I don't really care for like all like the Star Wars things and all that stuff. It's like I don't care about your space adventures. Unless it's Gravity or Martian, sure. But if it's like that, I'm out. Just totally out.
Did you like Alien? Did you watch Alien with Sigourney Weaver? Did you watch any of those?
I want to say I saw the first one. Wait, what would have been the first? Probably the first one. I mean, how many were there?
Like 4. It depends. If with Sigourney Weaver there were 4, and then they had like the add-ons, Alien versus Predator and things of that nature.
Yeah, that's hold on real quick. I thought you guys might be talking about Kazam. That's why I kind of brought it up, but I've never seen that movie. I just know that Shaq was in it, and it seemed like it'd probably not be good. Looking back at it, I'm sure at the time it was probably mildly entertaining.
I've never seen Kazam.
Yeah. Reno 911. Reno 911 was like my show for a while. I've
never seen an episode.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
Now you know how I feel.
But no, it's cool. I mean, when was that? That was what, 2004, 2005, something like that?
So Homegrown asked a while ago, what was the favorite basketball player movie besides Space Jam?
So I have an answer for that. My favorite movie about like a single basketball player would be The GOAT. It came out on HBO at first, and then forget wherever else it was. And an honorable mention to Above the Rim for being pretty good in itself.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that. So look, the funny thing is that about 2 weeks ago, I saw He Got Game for the first time.
I've never seen it.
I said, well, since I'm trying to get into sneakers, I think this will be a perfect opportunity to watch He Got Game, and that movie was the worst. They could have cut it down to an hour show. The last hour was decent, but the first hour was like, I didn't need this.
Man, I haven't even considered watching that movie. Like,
I said,
not once.
When you get caught up in these sneaker battles and things of that nature, and they throw out the He Got Game, it's like, well, let me find out what the background is to this sneaker.
Yeah, that's why, again, like I was saying before, that's why I like having other people in these little battles and stuff, because there'll be times where people will pull out a shoe, and I'm like the one guy out of the 24 that is like, so what is that? And everybody's, oh man, you got those? Oh man. And then like they're all talking about like, yeah, man, I love De La Soul. And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Wait, you didn't know who De La Soul was?
No, I'm saying like I know who they are, but I'm saying like, you pull out a shoe, and it's just like, to me, that's just like a yellow and green shoe or whatever, And someone's like, oh man, the De La Soul, whatever. It's like, I didn't know they had that. So that's cool,
I'm trying to think of a basketball movie. The only one that I could think of is White Man Can't Jump. I'm not too much into basketball loving basketball. Does that count?
I don't know why that makes me think of The Super. You ever see that movie?
I love that movie. I love that movie.
Man.
So it's a funny thing. So this weekend I watched one of my guilty pleasure movies.
Oh, okay. What was that?
Snakes on a Plane.
I haven't seen it, but I don't have any 13s. I don't know if he's asking me that. Someone asked, like, do I have the He Got Game 13s? Or he asked.
I definitely don't.
But that could be a question to anybody. Oh, congratulations to you, Homegrown. I see he was one of the people that wanted the 4s, got the 4s, and now has the 4s.
Mine are coming in tomorrow.
So review coming soon for Homegrown Kicks. Be sure to go on over there and subscribe to him, or at least check him out at the very least. Help that man get to 100. He's not far away from what I last remember. But
he also asked about Predator. Yes, I love Predator.
I've seen enough chunks of Predator that I feel like I've seen the whole movie. But the only
you see what I'm doing, right?
But the only full movie that I've seen was like Alien versus Predator.
And that's not the worst, but that shouldn't have been your.
Yeah. You know what's not good? Remember that Freddy versus Jason movie?
Horrible.
Yeah, that.
Horrible.
Man, there are certain things where you watch it and you're like, oh well, maybe this will be okay, and then it's just bad. And like, what was another? I watched. Man, I can't even think of the name of the movie now. It has something to do with like blood in the title, but if I remember it, it'll come. But it had something to do with like vampires, and it was somewhere out in like Alaska, where it was like dark for a long period.
30 Days and Nights.
Yes, that. And I was like, well, this is stupid.
That was a good movie.
But whatever, because some movies, it's like I watch stuff like that, and like 28 days later, and I'm like, I don't like this. But then I watched like Dawn of the Dead or whatever that was, where like they were on the island and stuff. I'm like, this is entertaining. I'll watch like Cabin Fever. I'm like, I can get into this. But then there's some of them, and it's like I feel like they're not even very different. But I just something about it is just making me want to watch something else. Cabin in the Woods. Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods was a good movie. I was pleasantly surprised about that movie.
What did you think of what was that movie? Cloverfield. Did you ever see that?
I did. I thought it was pretty good. I kind of got sick of that is that called POV?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it was good. I couldn't get into Cloverfield Paradox, but the first one was decent.
See, I kind of wanted to see the second one, but I saw the first one and I didn't like it. And I was like, this second one looks good, but I'm not doing it. Nope.
No.
So yeah, it just wasn't. I don't know what I expected from the movie, but I know that I didn't get it. Yeah, see, and I understand your reaction, Homegrown Kicks. I totally do.
I'm guilty of that too. I didn't really care for 28 Days Later.
Because there's all kinds of movies where I'm just like, man, this is really good. And I know for a fact that it's like, I'm one of few people saying that right now. Everybody else is wondering how they can get their money back. And I'm thinking like, you think they'll make a part 2?
I thought it was a cool premise as far as, the whole rage thing, but I don't think I liked how they recorded it. It was too gritty for me.
Okay, so, and again, this is just something that just came out because I keep looking over there and I see things in my little DVD Blu-ray stack. I haven't seen it in a long time, but what do you remember about the movie Belly with DMX?
I can't say that I've seen that whole thing. I remember the part where DMX is coming out the shower for some reason, but that's about it. I don't know if I saw that in a preview, a commercial. I can't say that I saw Belly.
Yeah, because I don't know if I've seen it since I bought it, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I remember there being parts of it that made me want to see it again. So I bought it, and it might be unopened DS, as some might say, but I still need to see Zombieland 2.
Zombieland 2 was good.
I keep forgetting that movie even happened because I think it came out at a bad time for me. Like maybe I was like moving or something, and it just just kind of fell by the wayside. But I would also like to watch Joker again. I haven't seen that since it came out. That was a good one.
I've been debating about that, but I have to get into a certain mindset because I thought it was very heavy. But I thought it was a good movie.
Oh yeah, it's. I wouldn't say it's like Requiem for a Dream heavy, but it's definitely.
I've seen that.
What's that?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, if you want to ruin your day, go ahead and watch that one. Like, it's a good movie, right? It's got a good story to it that some people might need to hear or see. But man, is it a downer? You know what I'm saying? It's a heroin. It's a heroin. Yeah, it's a heroin movie. I think it is.
Oh.
So it has Jared Leto from 30 Seconds to Mars and Marlon Wayans is in it.
Oh, okay.
Kind of an odd combination, but it's good.
Is.
Yeah, right. But it's definitely worth watching, though. What year was that? Let's see.
Did you get into like the gangster movies, like Scarface, Casino?
So, Casino is one of my favorites. That's one that I actually own as well. What else? There was also, kind of different, but there was that original Gangsters movie that was like the mid 90s. I forget who all was in it, but that one was pretty good too, on a different level. You know what I mean?
I haven't seen that one. It's
one of those ones that if you saw it, you would think like, so did this go like straight to DVD or how did that work? Because it's just one of those movies where you look at it and you're like, this wasn't in theaters, right? Let me see. Let's go ahead and get this screen shared out. It's from '96, I think, and it has what's the name, Braxton in it. So yeah.
Nope. Put me down for a no on that.
It was one of the movies we had when I was growing up. So there's certain movies that I've seen a lot. This one, that's one of them for sure. Power Rangers, every Disney movie up until '97. So you know what I mean?
I was not expecting you to bring up Power Rangers next to OG Gangsters.
Well, I mean, you gotta realize like the time those movies came out, that was a thing that I was seeing a lot because I had like younger brothers and stuff, so that was part of the reason for some of it. But then things like Power Rangers, I mean, I was into that as well. Okay, so gotta wait. So I guess they're making another Mad Max movie. I'd see that.
Yes.
The Fast and Furious franchise. That I mean, applause to them, for going as long as they did. Like, I tapped out after like number 2, I think, but they went on to like make like 10 more movies or something, right?
They are on 9 or 10 now.
Jeez.
But I like them and hate them all at the same time. I'm not a car person, so I can't admire the movie for that aspect of it. But I had to realize, I think in number 4 or 5, that they're just going to do unrealistic action shots. Because there was one where Jason Statham and I forgot, I guess, is it Nick Toretto? His character,
I don't know people's
they played chicken and rammed into one another, and they came out fine. I mean, Jason Statham, all he had to do was stretch his neck, and he was good.
Well,
I threw my hands up like, what is this?
I mean,
but they're good.
I would I personally, I'm not gonna say anything bad about the movies because I haven't really seen them, but I'd rather watch like the Pixar Cars than Fast and the Furious.
And I've never seen Cars.
Huh. No. Now, obviously, it's not go out and watch it right now good, but it was entertaining. Do you watch many of those like animated type ones? Because
I do. Cars just didn't do anything for me.
So there was an era where when Blu-ray was first coming around, and like one of the things I just got this fancy TV, it was like a plasma, I had it calibrated and all this nonsense. And so I was buying a lot of movies that would look good on it. And those were always up there, So now I have like Cars and Wall-E and like the Wreck-It Ralphs and all this stuff because it makes for really good demo material. It's like people would come over and they're like, oh, wow, like, how's the TV look? And I put in a movie for a little while and like, wow, this is so crazy. But a lot of the movies were also good too. I wasn't just buying things for the most part because you have Eon Flux and Speed Racer, which neither one got good reviews.
Speed Racer, that was a cartoon?
It was like some kind of animated, but
the Japanese animation, right?
It was, I forget how they did the actual movie. Is that it? Either way, it wasn't.
Vlad asked about The Irishman. Have you seen that?
The Irishman?
Yes.
I don't even know of that. Like,
I thought it was a really long movie. I have to revisit it. Anything with Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, all those guys. It's good, but I fell asleep.
I will say movies like The Departed and The Recruit, stuff like that. I do like those. What one movie, The Town. That was a really good one to me.
Yes.
But The Irishman, what is this? 2019? Yeah, I missed a lot of movies last year. I think I saw like 3. But yeah, I'll have to go back to that though, because I'm curious what it's about. But for the top 5 Disney movies, oh boy, because that's where there's certain things where I forget, like, was it Disney or was it just like in one of those other animated companies?
Same here.
So I'll put The Lion King up there, as most people would, because that was Disney.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What else? So I've seen a couple Jungle Book based movies, and I'm not sure if they were all Disney or not, but there was one that came out in theaters and maybe in like the last 5 years or something. I did like that one, or maybe it's the Netflix one. I don't know. But who else? Who did Up? That was a good one. Was that Disney?
I don't know. It might be DreamWorks. I don't.
Oh, I'm looking up. Let's see. Rise of the Guardian. No, that wasn't Disney, was it? Because that was good. What? Name some Disney movies, because I'm trying to think of some names, and I'm pulling blank.
So for me, I enjoyed Lilo and Stitch, Moana, The Emperor's New Groove.
I remember that. What's that other movie? Osmosis Jones. You ever see that?
No.
It had Chris Rock in it. It was some weird animated something. Go on.
Who?
No, I was saying go on.
I guess I would put Lion King in there.
Wait, Zootopia was one of them? One of theirs? Oh, shoot. Tangled. I don't know why.
Oh yes, Tangled.
But I'm a huge Tangled fan. Like,
Tangled would be in there also.
Tangled was freaking good. Inside Out was also really good.
Put me down for a no on that one.
Oh, you didn't like it?
It was okay.
Okay, yeah, Disney did do Up. So, and I wasn't.
So Up would be in my top 5.
There was a Bambi too. That's unexpected. Yeah, there's Disney. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying that Disney's had some good movies. It's just remembering the ones that they did. Like, I don't remember being a big fan of like A Bug's Life, but I did like Ants.
I like both of those. Bambi, for me, I saw that as a little kid, and it was so traumatizing that I never revisited it. As far as the mother being shot.
Just give away the movie.
Sorry. Spoilers. I mean, it's only, 40, 50, 103 years old.
Doesn't that? Yeah,
but yeah, I think Disney, the older Disney kind of, I don't really care for the older Disney because someone was always, like, some animal or person was always getting killed or attempted murdered.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is for kids? Like, what? Wait a minute.
I forgot about Fern Gully. As you said that, I was like The Rescuers Down Under. I remember that, but I don't think I ever saw it.
I haven't seen that either.
Let's see. The Toy Story movies. One of 3 stands out to me as being pretty good. Toy Story 3.
The only one I remember is 1.
I remember seeing Aladdin a few times, but I don't remember how I felt about it. I definitely liked the game, though. The game was pretty good.
I saw Aladdin for the first time, the original version, last year.
Well, Hey, I totally get you. Like, oh, James, I didn't know they did James and the Giant Peach. I've seen that movie, but that was one of those ones that I liked because I was a big Roald Dahl fan when I was younger. Back when I used to read books and stuff.
I love Bill Murray movies, Homegrown mentioned, like Stripes, not Striped.
Yeah.
Stripes, Caddyshack, of
Pretty
course,
sure wasn't Fern
Ghostbusters.
Gully 2 words? Oh, I guess not.
No, it's one.
Yeah. Yeah, because I look at it now and it's like they have like a big F and a big G, but the other letters are like smaller, but there's no space in there. It's like, yeah, I've never seen that movie, but I do remember seeing of it. You know what I'm saying?
Fern Gully.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that I do like now about having like these streaming things. Like a lot of this stuff, even though I don't make the time to watch it, I like having the option to watch it. You know?
I got options.
Like when it's weird because like when there's a movie, like I'll look up something randomly. I can't think of what it was the other day that I wanted to see. Man, what was it? But I'll look up something. I'll get on the phone. It's like, oh, higher learning or whatever. And it's like not streaming anywhere. I'm like, what do you mean? Like pay for it. I'm like,
yeah.
Why can't it be free somewhere? You know?
Yeah.
Why can't HBO like pull that in for some reason? But yeah. There are and that's the thing, like I'll look at something like that and think, oh, why isn't this on there? But then I'll see so many other movies that I want to watch and just that are readily available. Mm-hmm. And I just don't, you know? Partly because they can be long, you know? Like when I want to, like, I wouldn't mind watching like Infinity War and Endgame again, but that's like 6 hours of my life.
What?
Seems like a lot.
You just gotta take a day and just binge watch it.
See, and that's the thing. Like, it's like I'm not always doing a whole lot else. I mean, sure, I have like the days where I'll let like the YouTube stuff like eat up like several hours or whatever. But then there are certain days where it's like I'm not doing anything. Like I said, like I'll be taking my little YouTube break soon, so I'll have some free time then.
See, there you go.
And so maybe that's when I'll watch whatchamacallit?
Purple Rain.
Yes. And maybe and I wouldn't mind watching like what was that movie? Indisputed. That was a good one with the Russian guy and Michael J. White, or is it Jai White? Remember he was Spawn?
Yeah. I haven't seen Undisputed.
Yeah,
I remember Spawn though.
Yeah. I remember seeing Spawn in theaters and thinking it was like the coolest looking thing in the world because they had all that fancy computer generated stuff and same with like Terminator 2. I don't know if did you ever see that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Of course.
You never know. You never know.
Of course.
But like I remember seeing Terminator 2 in theaters and thinking, man, this is amazing, the things that we're seeing right now. Obviously, like you look at it now and the camera work doesn't go as far. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. But it's still entertaining, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For what it is. But man, like that's what's another one? Shawshank Redemption. You seen that?
Yes.
What'd you think of that one?
I thought it was a great movie.
It was, yeah, because that was one where I hadn't seen it ever until, you know, when you are living around a bunch of people, like your friends, like maybe they don't have cable either or something. And so it's just like talking about movies or DVD sets of shows is what you watch. And so that's kind of how I found out about that. But what is this? What's DJ's Soul Agenda? You just joined the topic we're on right now, obviously movies, but A movie that your sibling or kid watched over and over that you hated. What did I will say it's not a movie, but the one thing that stands out when I think of being watched over and over, my youngest brother was a huge Barney fan, and I heard and saw those tapes so many times. So that's definitely one of them. But as far as movies go, and after a certain point, the second Power Rangers movie, or maybe it's I feel like it's the one with Ivan Ooze was the second one. I don't know. One of those, because like you know how you can like something, but like overexposure, kind
Yes.
of. It's like, look, I don't want to watch this every day. Somebody almost got me on Friday like that because they were like, "Oh man, let's watch Friday again." It's like, no, like I like the movie, but I'm not trying to wear it out. What about you?
For me, I'm the baby out of as far as siblings. So whatever my brother took me to is what I was watching. So it wasn't, and that was pre Barney and all those things. Thankfully, my daughter was not into Barney. I kind of steered her kind of to the left, like we don't see that purple thing over there. Um, but when I worked in daycare, the show that irked my nerves to no end was Power Rangers. I hate to this day if I see a Power Ranger,
Homegrown
I
kicks are
don't
pretty bad.
I don't want to hear the words go anything.
it's it's funny because like when I was growing up, like that was a relevant thing. Was like the Power Rangers, and
Yes.
it was like the new popular thing, and
Yes.
I was into it. I'm not gonna got no
I
reason not to
can't.
admit to that. But it was like it's one of those things where I mean it kind of faded away, sure, but I just I don't know if there wasn't other stuff going on or what, but like for some reason, Power Rangers was just an an attention grabber. Like with Rita and Goldar, and then that Zed was in there at some point, Bulk and Skull. Like
Yeah.
that whole thing was just entertaining to me. And
I hate it. So we would turn the TV on around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock when the parents started picking up, and that was, Power Rangers time. I would always volunteer to clean up. I'll go clean up, you guys. Like the
wow,
other teacher, hey, just watch the kids. I'll go clean up. It's not a problem. I did not want to watch anything Power Ranger.
okay, so one thing that hasn't come up yet, surprisingly, somewhat. Did you ever see? I'm sure you've seen some of the Ninja Turtles movies, right?
Yes, the original ones.
Okay, but not like the later ones, like over the
No,
last like. Okay, so what did you think of those? Were you
I
were
thought they
you
were cool.
because like I was still am a big Ninja Turtles fan, so those like it's like if there's something you watch on TV every day or whatever, and then they
Mhm.
make a movie about it, you're going to be super inclined to watch it. And even now, I'd still go back and watch it. I don't have the same feeling about He-Man though, because that He-Man movie, it's I don't know what was going on with that.
He-Man was not my thing. I would watch He-Man and She-Ra, but in the mornings, you have the morning cartoons as you're preparing to get ready for school.
Yeah,
Um, that was like a filler for me. I knew when He-Man went off, it was time for something. But I didn't watch that. I did watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon, but I was excited when they made X-Men. I was a big X-Men cartoon
okay,
fan.
yes. So that was like your okay, cool. Because like,
Yeah.
so how do you feel that they did with those the X-Men? Well, just looking at the first, we'll go at the first three, just X-Men 1, 2, and 3. What do you think about those?
Um, So I have no comic book background. Let me put that out there first because
That's good, actually.
I don't want anybody to come after me for saying the wrong thing.
Hey,
I
don't.
thought for the time when they came out, which was what, the late 90s,
Hmm.
they were really good. There were some plot holes, but I think they did really well in casting Hugh Jackman, really well with Halle Berry as Storm. The others,
I mean, I think Iceman was he just looked like he made sense
Iceman.
in that role.
I don't even remember Iceman, but I was so excited when they Professor X, the guy that was I want to call him Picard, but
Oh, my uncle, Patrick.
yes, they did amazing job.
Okay, yeah.
Amazing job.
Yeah, because so my thing about the X-Men movies, right? Now, I grew up buying the comics, buying the cards, all that stuff. So, of course, like the first movies when they were coming around, had to see them. But the thing is, you gotta, like I was saying earlier about Venom, you gotta separate what you want to see as an old-time fan
Yes.
from what is going to appeal to the masses, because that's what they're making the movie for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like the same thing with what I heard of a lot of people say about the review of that Sneakerheads show was like it's inspired by the sneaker community, but it's made for a wider audience. And so that's kind of how those were. So you look at say the X-Men First Class movie, right? That one I think was a good movie as far as just if you didn't know anything about anything and someone sat you down and you watched it, entertaining. But as a comic person, it was kind of a slap in the face, you know? Because it's like when you think like the first X-Men, you think like Beast, Iceman, Cyclops, things like that, Angel.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't think like Nightcrawler Nightcrawler wasn't in that one. Anybody that they that they had in that movie. So it was weird. Let me see this comment here. Turtles will never die. The thing is, Turtles' original movies were so good for those of us that grew up watching them. We watch any movie they drop. Yeah, and that's exactly how it is. Because when the one came out with Casey Jones and Bebop and Rocksteady, the most recent live action one.
Yes.
I mean, it didn't get any amazing reviews, but I watched the movie. I actually watched it probably 2 or 3 times just because I had one of those movie passes where you could see a certain number of free movies every month or something like that. So
and that's what you chose?
No, it was so one of the times I was out and I had an hour and a half to kill between what I just finished and what I was about to do. So just the movie theater, and I was like, okay, let's see what started recently. I'm like, hey, let me get a ticket for that. And they're like, it already started. I'm like, oh yeah, I know, that's fine. Because I was like, I'm just gonna go in here, watch some of this movie, and then leave when it's time for me to leave. Mm-hmm. And he's saying no, pass on the Horde of the Sneakerheads Netflix show.
I haven't even attempted to watch that Sneakerhead show.
That's the thing. Cause I heard enough about it that made me not want to watch it. Now, some people that I do respect their opinions have said that they enjoyed it based on knowing to kind of not get too invested in it.
Right.
But at the same time, it's I have a lot of things that I need to catch up on. And every now and then I'll make time for something new, right? I was like, you know what? If Lil Dicky has a show, I'm going to watch it. I'll come back to you later, Archer and Arrow and Flash and whatever. But this is one that is not taking priority over anything at all. Will I ever see it? Probably not. But like,
Probably not for me too.
but if I ever caught up on everything that I was watching, and I had some time, and I was like, wait, is that a show or is it like a single like movie type thing?
It's a show. I think they said that it's like 15, 20-minute increments to
Oh,
each episode or something like that.
it's like yeah, I don't know, man. Because then it's like, uh, let's see. Here's what I say: watch it, but don't go into the. Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's what I've heard from people. It's like you can enjoy it if you go in with the right mindset. And I don't want to like have to go into something with the right mindset. I want
Right.
it to be good for what it is, you know? It's not like I don't want someone to hand me like a bowl of frosted flakes and like, dude, like, or you eat this, you gotta imagine this, and then it'll taste good. Like, no, it'll just taste. People can give it to you. It'll taste fine on its own.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, it's like when you gotta sit there and put your head in a different space. And I do that for like, obviously, I mean, I'll do that with like wrestling or whatever because that is what it is. And I'll do that with like the comic book movies, but those still on their own can stand up just fine, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
they tweak the episode or the movies a little bit, sure. But you know, you when you're watching it and you got like Black Panther fighting like Captain America, like you're into it because it's like it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Uh, I know you talking movies, but did you see Lovecraft Country? I don't even know what that is.
That is such a good show. It's on HBO. Um, and it's everything: horror, sci-fi, drama, um, period piece. It's a little bit of everything. It's such a good show. I'm hoping they come up with a season 2. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, because I mean, I will say, like, there are a lot of hidden gems out there nowadays.
Yeah.
Because like, when you think about like, what year was it? So maybe like, if I think back to 2013, right? Think back to like the Netflix originals. They had like Hemlock Grove and House of Cards and maybe like two
Mm-hmm.
others. And that was it. You know what I mean? Like that was where you found out about shows other than like Veep and whatever else like HBO and Showtime had. But there weren't a whole lot of like original things out there. Now it's like
Mm-hmm.
all these different studios have so many things going on. And obviously they're not all winners, but there are a lot of them that are out there that would be totally worth your time. But
Right.
you may never hear about them. And that's the thing that it's like the good side and the bad side all at the same time of like the way movies and TV is right now. Because I
So, are
can't.
there any TV shows you're watching currently that you're really into?
So I mean, there's a good number of them. I mean, I will say like currently, some of them are a little paused right now because I'll get into an I'll watch a string of episodes, kind of get caught up with some other stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm still not. I'm a few episodes away from being done with like Orange is the New Black. That's one that I got into a while ago. There's like the Archer, not Archer, well, Archer also, but I meant to say Arrow. I do like that one. I can't think of what else has. It's a little weird, but I do like the Lil Dicky show, right? You know, the one that's on FX, I think. There's, I can't, I've seen some other shows like come into existence recently,
Mm-hmm.
or like ones that I know like are on a service that I have that I
Mm-hmm.
want to watch and just haven't got around to. And I that's why I don't really dig into it too much because like I know once I start looking up what shows are new, I'm just gonna create this huge backlog, and it's just gonna
Yeah.
be never ending. Like you
So
said, like, it's I have the moments where I'll get deep into something, and I'll watch like 2 or 3 episodes a day and be through a season in a week,
right.
you know. But sometimes I just don't. To answer both of these guys' question about the Flash, I do not like The Flash that much. I watch it because I like to keep up with what's going on in that. It's okay. It's watchable. It's fine. But I prefer Arrow. The one show I will say that I for sure do not like is Legends of Tomorrow. I just can't get into it.
I've never seen any of those shows.
It's they're all related. They're all under like that the
CW
umbrella. Yeah. So like that and Black Lightning and Supergirl and Vixen. I think Vixen has a show too, if I'm not mistaken.
So the shows I like are Ozark.
See, that's the one that I heard about was good.
So good. Ozark, Jack Ryan, The Boys.
The Boys, that's on my list as well. Yeah.
The Outsider.
What's that?
It's a Stephen King show.
No, excuse me. I was thinking like The Outsiders, the movie.
No.
Yeah.
Castle Rock.
I heard Man in the High Castle was really good, but I never saw it.
Never heard of it.
It's about the Hitler era.
Okay. I'm still hanging in there for The Walking Dead. They're killing me.
Man,
but I'm still hanging in there.
I do not like. So The Walking Dead is like the Big Bang Theory for me. It started.
I love the Big Bang. Don't you say anything bad about either.
I've already started. I can't stop it now. When they started, they were fine. Then over time, something shifted, and now I watch it just waiting on it to be over.
What?
So, because I'm like a seasoner. Big Bang Theory that's done, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I'm like a season or two behind on that, but it would still have its moments, but what got me into the show wasn't so common on there anymore. And The Walking Dead, I thought that was done. I thought that was done, but it won't go away.
No.
And then they started like Fear the Walking Dead, and I was thinking like, well, this is fresh. Maybe this will be good. And then I couldn't get into that. But then I was like, but I feel like I need to watch this in case they like intersect at some point, and I don't want to be like, wait, why is this black dude here? Who's that? Why is he on this boat?
All right.
Let's see. Yeah, so Homegrown said it should have been done 2 seasons ago, and DJ's like more than 2 seasons ago. But yeah, there's some good TV out there that I would like to watch. I think there's also I've even seen a couple shows that were just on like normal TV, like normal basic cable TV or whatever, that looked pretty decent. Kind of like how like they used to have like House and whatever else I used to watch back in the old days. I heard Dexter is supposed to be coming back for like a limited run or something like that. So
yes, I heard that. I've never seen an episode.
I'm curious how that'll go. I mean, it's a good show. I liked it, you know.
Yeah.
Did you watch Nip Tuck at all?
No.
No.
I watched one episode and I said, this is too far for me. I have a limit. It was an episode where the guy went into an apartment and the kids were in the living room, and I guess the girlfriend or the wife was like a prostitute or something, and she had all these men back there, and I said, I can't watch that.
Yeah, so
it's over the top. I can't.
That was one of those shows where what people often say about it is like it started off like normal and kind of believable, you know, for like that type of lifestyle. And then it like took a weird turn and just like exploded into like, there was an episode where, you know how like you have those like Build-A-Bear machines that fill stuff with like foam?
Yes.
And like some woman, like she kidnapped a dude and killed him with that. And it's like, okay, this is odd. But eventually, I want to say that it kind of pulled itself together when it was time to end. But some of those middle seasons, but at the same time, it's like it's weird to like tell somebody like, oh, you should watch this show, but only watch the first 3 seasons. Because like if you watch the first 3, you're gonna want to watch, and you look at it, you're like, there's like 7 seasons though. It's like, well, if you want to watch 4 through 7, that's on you. But let's see, Dexter, bring House. Man, House was like my favorite thing, man.
I've never seen an episode.
That was okay. So, did you not care to see it, or did it just not happen?
I'm really bad with. I notice I'm really bad with certain TV series, especially certain TV series if it's an hour long. People love like Sons of Anarchy and what's the dude that was dealing with the meth?
Dog the Bounty
Breaking
Hunter?
Bad. Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay. I was close.
I tried both, but I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I heard Breaking Bad was really good, but I had like zero interest in actually watching it.
Right. I tried. I think I watched 2 seasons and I was like, I'm good.
One of the shows that I did really like from HBO many years ago was Oz. It was kind of crazy.
Yes, I loved Oz.
There was a lot going on with that.
Yes.
But it's all on either Amazon. Oh, well, it's got to be on HBO Max too. But that was like the arcs of the different characters coming and going, and it's like that was a crazy show.
Look, if you have 15 minutes to 30 minutes to go back and watch one episode, like start from the beginning, you will realize like I went back maybe about 2 months ago and said, I used to love this show. Let me go back and rewatch it. And
yeah,
it's such it's definitely time stamped. It was such it's very dated. It's very dated. I cringed watching it.
Yeah, I feel like there was something I was watching earlier that was like that. Like, it just severely dated. Man, what was it though? Oh, it was the Bring the Pain video by Method Man. I
don't even remember that video.
I fell into like a little. I got out quickly, but I fell into like a little rabbit hole of like mid-90s Wu-Tang videos. And I was like, man, like you just see what's going on and like you listen to like what they're saying, and it's wow, you can tell that has a certain age to it. But man,
HBO used to have some shows though. I remember like really enjoying HBO.
Yeah,
they had the concerts, the live concerts. Like you could see Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson, and I want to say Madonna.
I would have liked to have seen Michael Jackson for real before,
Oh yes.
Thing, and I feel like I would have if he had stuck around because I was living in the right area, and but wasn't meant to be. I did cross Madonna off the list a while ago though.
Yes, I saw Madonna. I've seen Janet.
Janet was actually my first concert.
Really?
Like my cousin that I was living with in 3rd grade was a huge Janet Jackson fan. And so she was playing in Chicago, which was only like 2.5 hours from Iowa or where I was living. And we went to that concert. And I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I just remember, we were out in the back in the lawn because you know how those amphitheater concerts are. And we were just out there watching it, like, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Years later, I became like a huge concert going person. Because being down here, like Virginia Beach, well, Norfolk has the Norva, Virginia Beach has the amphitheater, DC has everybody that's too big for that, So that's
Yes.
where, like the Bon Jovis and the Kylie Minogues and whatnot go. And they've got some smaller venues up there too. The 930 Club, I have graced with my presence many a time. And the occasional Richmond trip if it needs to happen. So I've seen so many people that I want to see. And the only people that I haven't are those that maybe came along later while I wasn't living here or just don't tour regularly. So I thought HBO was always a paid subscription. But yeah, see, DJ's right there with me saying, MJ Live, wish I got the chance. Same with there's a lot of people like that, so that's why you try to get out there and see what you can, but
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's like I've got a whole closet full of shirts from things that I've seen, random conversations I can bring up, so I can't complain about the few that didn't make the cut. But it would have been nice. Definitely.
My first concert was Cash Money. A friend of mine was a big Lil Wayne and Birdman fan, and I said, "Oh, I'll go with you." Sure. That was the worst concert.
Man, so
that was the worst concert for me.
That's the thing about concerts like that. I'll go to certain things. I mean, I've learned over the years, but going to certain things out of nostalgia is enough at times. But so when I go and I see the Chili Peppers, I'm getting the CD experience with extra solos, basically. When I see when I saw Bone Thugs and Harmony, it was this is a little different. I saw Method Man and Redman, and I'm it's a little different. Something about it is just, I don't know, man. It's just a little weird in a way. Well, when I was growing up, DJs talking about having a certain setup. When I was growing up in Newport News, the guy in front of me, they had the black box thing on their on their TV. Man, they invited me over once to watch a wrestling thing. I thought they had. He's like, yeah, we can get that channel. It's free. Just come on over. I didn't realize he meant they had every channel. I was wait. It's yeah, I think that's coming on HBO. Let me flip over there. It's wait, everything? That was crazy.
Yeah.
And looking back at it, it was probably super simple to make those little black box black box descramblers or whatever. But now it's all done through cable, and it's you put the TV on. It's no, you don't have this channel. Keep it moving.
Yep.
I mean, I don't have cable. I use YouTube TV, but still.
I don't have cable either. I haven't had cable in 3 years.
Because I had it because I moved into somewhere and I got cable set up before I really thought it through, and I was you know what? After a while, I'm I watched cable on Monday nights for wrestling, and as I'm going to bed for Adult Swim, and as I'm waking up because it's still on Cartoon Network, because the channel just shifts. You fall asleep on American Dad, you wake up with the Adventures of Gumball or whatever, Amazing World of Gumball. And so I was this is not worth this much money, because
no,
it was expensive, especially if you have the DVR and all that. It's man, this is just too much.
Yep. I agree.
Because it was when I first had it years ago, I would have I had MTV2, which was all music. I had a Fuse, which was all music, and House and Prison Break and whatever else I was watching in that era was coming on. Let's see. No, that's what I'm telling me on YouTube TV. Man, okay, so YouTube TV is expensive, is the huge drawback to it. I think it's $60 or $70, but I do like it. As a service, I think it's pretty solid. I like how I'll not watch something just because I know if you add it to your list, it makes it easy to find later, and they'll have the cloud DVR, so Like NXT came on last night, which was a wrestling thing. But if I just wait till the next day, they have the video on demand version, which is basically it without commercials.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, see, this is what I like. And, being able to watch stuff on the phone if I'm like out somewhere, that's handy. The one thing that kind of sucks as a slight drawback is like if you want to share your account with people, you mostly can't. Like unless you have them log in like with your profile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then there's probably I think there's still like a thing of how many you can watch at a time. But a lot of people have like family accounts on Google, right? So you can share like books that you buy and stuff like that, and apps that you buy. You can share them if you use the family account. But if you use a family account, you can't share YouTube TV. Because I had like a friend of mine, he wanted to try it out. Yeah, I can add you to my account, and then I guess it's free. But if that person doesn't watch TV within where your account is set up, which for me is like here in Virginia, then it locks them out like after like
Really?
30 or 90 days or something like that. I think it's 30. And it sucks because it's like, I mean, I get that they're trying to make all the money they can out of it, but at the same time, like a family plan, like your family doesn't always live with you. You know what I'm saying? So like, whereas with Spotify, I can make a family plan, which is what I have. I had my mom on there, I had my sister on there. They can go wherever they want to and listen, and it's fine. All they need is just to have an internet connection every so often to keep the account active. So that's one thing I don't like. But otherwise, though, I do like the service. They have a pretty good number of channels on there. You can bundle in like the HBO and the Showtime if you want to. But I mean, everybody does that, at least has that option. But for them, it's pretty good, and it's on everything really. I mean, PlayStation, it's on my PS4, obviously on the phones. It has the Android, not the Android, the Amazon TV things as well. So it's pretty good, but I would definitely suggest doing the trial just to kind of see what you think. Because for dropping the cable service, like I would, just because YouTube TV covers enough of what I need, and it gives you like more flexibility. Because like if you have that and you go out of town, there are a lot of cable companies they'll let you download something and you can log in, or if you have like a Cox account, DirecTV account, whatever, sometimes you can log into like fx.com and watch certain shows. But if you just have like the YouTube TV thing, you can just kind of go wherever and be good.
All right.
Let's see. Just saw Get Out today. I was skeptical going in because I saw Us before and I thought it was garbage, but loved it. Did you see? I saw Get Out and I thought it was pretty good. What about you? Did you see either of those?
I thought it was good. Not how everybody was rated. That's one of those ones we had discussion how people were hyping that movie up to the point that when I got into the theater, when I finally saw it, I was like, what's the big deal? Yeah. It was a good movie. Don't misunderstand me. It was a good movie. But I think I got caught up in the hype and it wasn't as good as the hype led me.
Man, I'm not gonna take away from this conversation. I'm gonna stay on this for a second so I can share my thoughts. But earlier somebody asked about like the worst movies you've seen. 50 Shades of Black was freaking terrible.
I didn't see it.
It was like one of those don't drink your juice while being a minister. Is that style of movie, but based on like the 50 Shades of Grey books or movies or whatever. Awful. Wayans brothers thing, just terrible. So wanted to bring that up. But yeah, the Get Out thing, like I saw Get Out before there was really much hype on. Well, I guess there's always hype whenever a movie first comes out, but I saw it when it had just come out. You know what I mean? So not everybody had like seen it for like weeks and was like telling you. So I saw it without much going in, and I was like, man, this is kind of crazy, kind of good, you know. But Us, I did not see, not because I had anything against seeing it. I don't remember why I didn't see it, honestly. it might have just been maybe it's one of those things where I was gonna wait till it came on home video and just forgot about it, because it's pretty easy to forget about stuff. I'm not gonna lie, you know.
Yeah.
There was a
I
time.
saw it. I actually enjoyed Us a little bit more than Get Out, but
What up, blogging? You
hey,
said
vlogging.
you said you enjoyed Us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I don't know. I think I enjoyed leaving the theater still trying to figure out what just happened at the end of Us. So that's why I like it. And then, like, to answer DJ Soul Agenda, I haven't had cable in 3 years for the simple fact that anytime that I would turn on cable, there was nothing that I wanted to see, or it would be something I've already seen. And I had the package where it had the internet, the cable, and the security. And me spending $250, $300 for something that I didn't really watch or use. So now I have an antenna attached to my TV, and I get about 30 to 40 channels. And that's good enough for me, along with having Hulu and Prime, and that satisfy all the TV wants that I have.
Yeah, and that's because people kind of forget about the whole antenna situation. Like that's valid. That's a valid way to get a good number of channels in there. Let's see. There was something I was gonna say about a movie. Can't remember what it was though. Oh, for some reason I was gonna bring up Straight Outta Compton, but I don't remember why anymore. So whatever. So we're just gonna move on to this question. Did Black Panther live up to the hype? I thought Black Panther was really good. It was done well. I would like to go back and watch it again. So I think all those movies, I mean, I didn't hear a lot of hype, honestly, going into it. But I will say that I went into it without hearing much about it, was definitely into the movie. But when I hear people talk about it now, like, you know, after the fact, it's like, okay, like, calm down. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't like the movie of the millennium or anything. Like, just let's not blow it out of proportion, right? And
for me, I really enjoyed Black Panther because it was the full experience. Because when I went to the theater, people were dressed in kente cloth, and you see the little kids, and the cast alone was very enjoyable. For you to see Angela Bassett and Forrest Whitaker and I'm trying to think, Michael B. Jordan and Chadwick Boseman. It was just a great cast. And I thought the story was pretty good. So
So, because I know some of those movies do, to some extent, there is a blueprint. But the thing is, for me, looking at the Marvel movies, like sometimes, like some of the ones that stand out the most were the ones people talk about the least. Like the first Ant-Man movie,
I agree,
was, like, crazy good to me because it came out of nowhere. Nobody was cared about it, and you watch like, wait, T.I.'s in this, and I never remember his name, like the Hispanic guy. And they were hilarious. And then the movie itself, like this little story was good. And I'm like, Ant-Man is kind of one of those ones where you might not. I don't know. It's like some of those Adidas like 5923s. People aren't talking about them. But if you get a pair, like you're gonna want to tell somebody. And so when I was watching Ant-Man, I'm like, this might be the movie right here. You know, out of all the ones, like it did so much with putting in so little, you know. Because then I look at like certain other ones, like Doctor Strange was visually very pleasing, but substance wise was like, okay, because sometimes they have that, you know, there's like you have that wow factor, but you just don't have that thing to pull you in.
For me, my favorite was Thor Ragnarok. Visually beautiful. The comedic hits were on point.
Yes, and Jeff Goldblum, for sure.
Yes. And Chris Hemsworth really showed his comedic chops in it for me.
Yes. Yeah, that was...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yes, that was a welcome change. Like, from the normal style.
Yes.
And that's what one thing I did like about them intertwining all those was that you have everybody kind of has their own vibe, even though they're all in the same universe or whatever. Like Tony Stark acts a certain way, Captain America acts a certain way, right? So they all have their whole thing. And then in their movies, you get a little bit more of that. The Iron Man movies were a little different because, he went through some changes through those 3 movies as part of the story or whatever. But you could at least kind of count on getting something different. So that was what I liked. But how will we accept Black Panther 2 now, though? What do you think we will see with the public considering the passing? I think it's going to be fine because from what I understand, they got all the same people making it, and they kind of know what people want to see, and they're going to give them something along those lines. I'm a little curious of how they'll do everything. You know what I'm saying? As far as like writing him out or whatever the case is going to be. But I think it's going to work out. I'm pretty confident in saying that. What do you think?
I feel the same way. The MCU has excellent writers, so I feel like they'll do a great job. I do think that Shuri will take the reins, and I wouldn't be surprised if they have some footage of Chadwick. I don't know if they started production on it or anything of that nature, but I'm sure at the least they're going to superimpose his face and somehow he's going to pass the reins.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like, because I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen movies or shows where things happen after someone has passed on and they're in it, but just enough. Like, I don't know when the 3 from Hell, like the movie after The Devil's Rejects, I don't know when that came out, but Captain Spaulding, what's his real name? I can't think. Sid Haig. He had died. So in the movie, I feel like they didn't have him in it because of that, but they showed stuff in there, but it was like little clips of him just kind of like rambling on about stuff before going into jail, and then they said, okay, like he was killed by like electric chair or whatever the case was, right? Because that's kind of where the movie picked up from. But in this case, it's like, I feel like they're going to do something better. You know what I mean? And nothing against like the Rob Zombie situation. Like they did what made sense for the movie. I'm just saying, I feel like he'll get a better treatment. And then HTX brought up a point there about bringing back Killmonger and stuff. And real quick to answer, Vlogging's an underrated movie. Man, like this is the kind of thing that it'll hit me at like 3 a.m. when it
Same here.
I'll wake up in the middle of the night. Oh yeah,
yes,
Super Mario World. It's like, what is an underrated movie? Shoot, trying to think. Like I can't think of anything off the top of my head that hasn't like. Try to think something that hasn't been brought up already, but I don't hear a lot of people talk about Go. It's a movie from like either the early 2000s or late 90s.
I don't know if I've seen that.
So I'll pull up a picture here, but do you have one? Underrated
The
movie?
one that I could think of after you said Go, I thought Push was a really good movie.
Push. What is it? Wait, no, I'm thinking Wanted.
Push has Chris Evans in it, and it has the guy from Captain America, and I want to say he had special powers, or they took something that caused them to have special powers.
Wait, was that? Oh, what am I thinking? Limitless? But that's a different movie. That was good though. Entertaining anyway. I guess good and entertaining aren't always the same thing.
Yeah.
There can be a very fine line in there. Let's see. Did that share? So that was Go. It was a movie from some point. When was this? I don't remember. 1999.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah. It's so what was that movie? Crash, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Crash was the movie where there was like 3 stories or a couple stories, but they all happened at the same time from different perspectives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this was one of those. You might enjoy it. It's the favorite MCU films were Infinity Wars and 2 Spider-Man. I liked the second Spider-Man more than the first Spider-Man. Like when I say that, I'm talking like the one with Mysterio versus the one before it.
So do you think, I can't think of his name, do you think he's the best Spider-Man out of all?
Nah.
The most current one?
I'm inclined to say no, but he's definitely the most successful. That's for sure. Yeah. I mean, because like I don't know. I kind of liked the guy that was in the one with Jamie Foxx. You know,
Andrew something.
But you know who you can picture the guy. Like, I don't know, I kind of liked him, you know? Like, visually, he seemed like a pretty good fit for Spider-Man, right?
Right.
Now, this new guy, he kind of has captures a certain element that, you know, they're trying to portray about him being like the younger guy and all this, and like the whole high school thing and stuff. Like if the dude was too old, it'd be like, I don't know, like 90210 or something, and you have like this 35-year-old person playing this like 18-year-old person, and it doesn't line up. So let's see. I would accept them bringing back Jordan for Black Panther, and that's the thing, because like it always happens in like comics and stuff. People are always changing who is somebody. It's like, well, now we're gonna have Falcon be like Captain America, or we're gonna have this woman be Thor, or whatever the case is. I think wasn't Storm Black Panther at some point in the comics? I feel like something like that might have happened.
I think so. Weren't they supposed to be dating or something like that?
Yeah, and then like later, like they found out that like Storm wasn't really a mutant, and she was actually like an actual goddess from their region and stuff, and so that's why like her powers were the way they were. It's comics, you know, there's always something going on.
I heard what was the recent the most recent comic book news that I've heard is that I guess Batman lost all his money, or is going to lose all his money after the whole Joker rebellion situation.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but it'd be an interesting little storyline there.
Yeah, apparently Batman's not movie wise, but comic book wise, he's gonna end up losing all his money.
Because they gotta keep it interesting. I mean, you can't just have him be on top all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wish so much A Fresh was in this chat, because he said, I don't know if you would feel the same way. He said that Batman would be able to beat Iron Man.
So there's a solid chance, and I base this on the fact that Batman he thinks more. You know?
You think so?
Iron Man is a smart dude, right? But Batman has that like detective mindset to where he like will get in their opponent's head and like figure stuff out.
Okay.
Not on like necessarily like Lex Luthor level, because he's like that crazy level of genius. But I feel like Batman might have the edge. The if it came down to him winning, that's how he would do it. If they were just a full on just fighting, my money's on Iron Man. He's got too much cool stuff going on. Like that's all I can say. It's like he's just got too much cool stuff going on to lose to a person similar to him, meaning like another guy with a lot of technology. Because also Batman isn't because like Batman isn't the guy making his stuff. I don't believe, right? He's I feel like he's the guy got it like outsourced or something, you know. So like
Yeah.
Iron Man would just be like, you know, Batman would like go into his home thinking like, okay, like I know he's gonna be here. I'm gonna do this. Next thing you know, his whole home is like wired with like alarms. He's got all the Iron Man suits. You know what I'm saying? He's got Hulk busters coming out of the walls. So full on fight, just pound for pound, Iron Man. That's my take. If for some reason, somehow, Batman pulls off that victory, it's going to be because he outsmarted him somewhere along the way. And that's it. He's smart, man. I mean,
all right. Well, whatever.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I know that's the kind of taking the high road there, and I get that, but that's just kind of how I feel, looking at it from a realistic standpoint.
And apparently, majority of the folks in the chat agrees with you.
Let's see. No, everybody's saying that Batman could definitely beat Iron Man, and Batman.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just think that Iron Man's got a lot of stuff. He's just, you know, I mean, he might not necessarily be the best tactician, you know. Now let's say it was like Tony Stark versus Bruce Wayne and like just throwing fisticuffs. Oh yeah, Batman all day. Like Stark might get a couple hits in, you know what I'm saying, but like they won't sway the victory. Well, I mean, didn't he like I don't remember the whole situation with Batman fighting Superman.
I don't remember it either.
But like I thought
had to think about it.
But again, it's like Stark could play dirty, you know, he could pull a page out of the Ric Flair book or whatever and have people on his side because he can break out all those suits like he did in the third movie. So there's also that.
They're gonna make me go back and watch Superman v Batman v Superman or whatever, Man of Steel or whatever that. Oh wait.
So I do remember. I mean, Batman. Here's the thing. Superman. Remember that time when I was saying like how Superman sucks like an hour ago or something? Yeah, I'm gonna stand by that. I'm gonna bring it back up. Batman should beat Superman. Period. Right? Superman's just like that big dumb jock kind of style thing, you know, and like so I got laser vision, and then Batman's gonna be like, I don't care, and he's gonna do something that combats it. So I mean, yeah, and there's like I remember the whole kryptonite thing being a part of it. Let's see.
So I can't really talk down about Superman because Christopher Reeve's Superman is what made me love like superheroes. So stop talking about Superman.
I mean, because okay, so my thing was just like he was always just over. Yeah,
he is overrated. He is.
They tried to make him like the perfect superhero, and then he's like, it kind of backfires after a certain point, you know, because it's like, look, you got to have some weakness in there, right? It's balance. But I will say to anybody that's in there in the chat here that reads comics, which I'm guessing a handful of you do, I think it was not all stars. The Red Sun Superman story, I liked that story, and All Star Superman was also really good. I don't remember what happened in those, but the storylines in those made me think, okay, Superman has his moments. I'll give him that. It's just that overall, like he just wasn't. Hold on a second. Let me see if I have those over here. Let me see.
Vlogging, I never watched Smallville. Never seen one episode. And I don't follow comics, so I'm coming from a non-comic background. But yeah, I think Superman is overrated. I kind of think Batman is overrated too, to be honest with you. I heard Smallville was great. One day. I'll try it one day.
I think maybe when I got the All-Star Superman, that was a digital one, but this was like the Superman Red Sun.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like, the normal paperback style, all-inclusive thing. So basically, like, his rocket thing or whatever hit Earth at a different time of the year, so the trajectory had him land in Russia instead of America, and he grew up supporting them instead. And then Russia Batman became a thing, and then the fighting happened, and it was a little bit different. But overall, I think Wonder Woman was in there too somewhere. But it's a really good story, though. Nice little, like, what if this happened? Kind of like how DC or Marvel did those what ifs. Let's see. Blasphemy to call somebody called Batman overrated?
I did. I'm not scared.
I'll leave you alone for 2 minutes. I'm going to apologize for
Batman is overrated, guys. They really are.
That right there.
He really is. He's overrated.
Man, I tell you. But anyways, so all right, but and we can stick around here. I know it's been about 2.5 hours, so
yeah,
we can probably go ahead and King's 23 just pulled up, but because I know you're in the same time zone as I am, so it is getting up there in the hours. I don't know what else you need to do with your night, but I don't want to take too much of your time away from you.
No problem.
But I do appreciate you stopping in, though. Got to see you do your first YouTube live.
I know. I'm so excited.
So that was very cool. I feel privileged and honored and all that good stuff.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
And I know you said you were a little nervous earlier. It didn't show, which is good because people can tell when you're nervous.
Yes. See, when we start talking about movies, that's in my wheelhouse. So
yeah, and we'll definitely have to. Maybe next time we'll because I know we spent a lot of time on movies, so maybe next time we'll spend more time on like TV or maybe I'll watch something. We'll do an actual recap of something. You know what I mean?
Yes, guys, I'm gonna get him to watch Big Trouble in Little China, Purple Rain. We're gonna go to the 80s. We should do each decade. Watch The Burbs.
That I definitely do want to see that because I feel like
you have to go in with an open mind.
I feel like I've seen The Burbs, but because the cover made me feel like I've seen it, and so I want to double check on that. And basically, there's a lot of movies out there that I wanted to see and couldn't because like we didn't have it or whatever. And later, you just kind of forget about it. But now, it's like we sit here and we talk about this stuff. It's like, man, did I see that? Oh, I forgot that did happen, right?
Right.
Or people just tell me about movies that I've never even heard of. But yes, she is certainly ready for full-time YouTube action.
I know,
now.
right?
So
we'll see. I don't think so, but we'll see.
or at the very least, becoming a little more active in like jumping in some lives from time to time.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Because that's cool. Because like the thing is, I like jumping in other people's lives because I don't have to do anything. I just have to show up.
Right.
And so then it's so much easier. It's like, I don't have to worry about like creating these awesome thumbnails. I don't have to like set up the StreamYard thing. Like if I'll just be in there like in somebody's comments or whatever, and then like they drop the link. Like, yeah, come on in. And I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Why? And then I do. But let's see, what is it? I don't know that anybody in here is doing anything soon except for King's 23 Kicks. I know he does his lives on, I want to say it's 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern time. So he should be doing that this weekend. I could be wrong. Also this weekend, there is a time change, so keep that in mind, but that's not until Sunday.
Yes.
And then I'll be doing my sneaker recap thing on Sunday afternoon, talking about all the shoes that came out in October. So if anybody is listening to this right now and decides to come in there, I always have the link in the chat. So please, like, if you're not feeling up to it right now, and then Sunday comes around and you're ready for it, come on by. There's always room for you because this is the internet and there's room for everybody. Until I hit 10, because I can only have up to 10 people. And then probably do my little YouTube thing. What's that thing I did a while ago? Something about starting YouTube channels or something. It's about time to do part 2 of that. So that'll be happening relatively soon. But I think for me, like I said, I should have a review hopefully tomorrow because there was supposed to be package coming today and it didn't happen. Probably do that review, do my live thing Sunday. Got a performance review to do on some running shoes because, man, I did a lot of running last week. And then I'm taking a little break for a while myself, probably like a week or 2. And then I'll be back. Yeah, you got to refresh yourself every once in a while. But yes, recap time, definitely be there. If anybody wants to jump in, the link will be in the chat. So, or you can tell me ahead of time that you want to be in there and I'll make sure to get you the information ahead of time. But for now, I'm going to turn it on over to you. Let yourself say your goodbyes and tell some people where they can find you, all that good stuff.
Hey guys, thanks to Shoes Up for inviting me. This was really fun. I would love to do this again. Maybe we can do TV or music, but we'll see. Thanks for everyone pulling up in the chat and to know that we are all like-minded people. A lot of movies, like just going down memory lane and seeing a lot of people having the same memories of watching this movie or that movie. As far as where you can catch me in the chats. I am on Instagram. I don't have a YouTube page. I don't have a YouTube page. I don't know. You can look me up on Suki95 _KJS and Instagram. But other than that, thanks so much, Shoes Up. This was so much fun.
Yeah, well, I'm glad because that's the thing. Again, we talked about, the shoes is fine and all that stuff, but I like to take a break from that stuff when I can and just sit down and talk to people about whatever. And given that this had popped up a few times in the past for different reasons, just different movies and stuff, I know we had talked about it before. It's we could just set aside a night and just talk about that,
Our chats always lead to movies.
Exactly.
Or music somehow.
Yeah, and that's another one. We can talk about music sometime, and and each one of those topics could have its own specific thing or whatever. So I'm totally up for it. It seems like the crowd is up for it. You're up for it too.
Yes.
And again, like other people, like if I post something on Instagram that says, hey, I'm going to be going live later or whatever, if you want to be a part of it, just because I only say that so-and-so is going to be there doesn't mean you can't also be there too. So just know that I have an open door policy. I mean, I let in some random dude from Britain one time.
Yeah.
Like the Mandarin. Oh, it was freaking weird. It was like, that was like the strangest thing. I told myself, I was like, Tristan, you should not allow this man into this live as I'm clicking allow.
And it was like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. over there for his time.
It was, oh man, he was on a whole nother level. But it made for something to talk about, and he
handled it very, very well.
And he got his 15 minutes to do whatever you want to call what he did.
Yes.
But anyways, so for now, we're going to let you guys go. Thank you for showing up. Thanks for coming in, hanging out with us, sharing your thoughts on like Batman and Superman or the X-Men, or why you didn't like the Juice movie, or why you think like Fern Gully was better than the Rescuers Down Under. All that stuff. Bring that same energy back next time with whatever the topic is, and I'm sure we'll have just as good of a time then. But for now, from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of stuff coming around for me as far as, well, not a whole bunch, like 4. But King's 23 Kicks, that's definitely the next thing coming up as far as YouTube things are concerned. So he's right there in the chat. Go ahead, type that name into YouTube, find his channel, check him out on Saturday. You will not regret it. I promise that. Money back guarantee even. All right.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, people.
Yes, that same thing. Forgot to say. Because in some places it might be Friday now. Because I know I do have my handful of UK and British guys in there. I mean, UK and Australia guys that come around. So, later, people.